Good morning, everyone. Dan Bossy here. Ben can't join this morning, so you're stuck with me from Chicago, Illinois. Hopefully, everybody is well. It's getting close to the U.S. holiday. We have a full day today. We have a full session tomorrow, and then, of course, we're closed on Monday. Everybody should be aware we're getting the initial crop condition ratings that'll come out for corn and soybeans, corn and spring wheat. Excuse me on that. Corn and spring wheat on Tuesday. Those will be very important to the market next week. Overall, I did want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on. There's plenty to be going on in the markets here today. The House has narrowly passed by one vote the, of course, big, beautiful bill, as President Trump claims, to send it to the Senate for, of course, further approval and debate. The House and Senate at some point will come back and negotiate what's going on. Important to the ag markets is that 45Z. There was some late amendments that diminished the transferability of tax credits. And so that's why the soil market sold off last night. That transferability is important in an economic perspective between industry and, of course, making sure that we reach our mandates. And so I'm not quite sure how this will ring in terms of the Senate bill, nor what the final process will be on 45Z. This is one hurdle to get over. There's many more hurdles ahead. If you were to ask me the percentages of 45Z at least hanging on through the end, I'd probably put it at 45%. I think there's some back and forth. And as we get closer to looking at budget savings, maybe this is one of the programs that they'll look at reducing or slicing. We'll see how this all pans out, but that's important down the road. Also, as you think about other things legislatively, the EU this morning came out with their deforestation rules. This, of course, applies to many commodities, including soybeans. Surprisingly, in this ruling, they did put Brazil and Indonesia in the standard category. So that means that you only need a 3% compliance check, relatively speaking. In terms of goods coming out of there, much easier and a lower bar to jump over. In the United States, it's a 1%, so we are a low entity. So on the top end was countries like Belarus, Russia, North Korea, and of course, Myanmar. So as we think about these countries, they are going to have a 9% compliance bar, but Brazil snuck under, as did Indonesia. So this is going to be important longer term in both palm oil and, of course, soybean meal trade into the EU. As you think about the other things that are on the agenda, it is a political day. Today we have the MAHA, of course, release report. MAHA standing for Make America Healthy Again. That will be coming out. JFK Jr. has been one of the sponsors of this bill. It is not a policy bill, so this will not set policy for the United States. But importantly for agriculture, they'll be watching pesticides and herbicides in terms of what it means for chronic children diseases. And so this is something that will be a platform for RFK going forward. And we would imagine sometime later in the year, early in 26, they will get to the policy side. Again, American agriculture is only wanting the administration to use good science in making these determinations. U.S. export sales, weekly export sales were very solid again this morning for wheat, corn, and soybeans. We sold 32.4 million bushels of wheat, most of that being HRW in the 12.9% million bushel category. Corn sales were around 46.9 million bushels for old crop, 8.6 for new crop. Soybean sales 11.3, but corn, wheat, and soybean sales all stronger than expected. Notice that U.S. corn sales are now approaching 2.5 billion bushels, again, with the last quarter and 2 weeks remaining in the crop year. So very strong sales. We at AgResource believe that USDA is still understating U.S. 24-25 corn export estimates by about 100 million bushels. We're at 2.7 versus USDA at 2.6. So feed and residual become important as we get beyond the end of June. That's when the third quarter measurement will be taking, or at least released to the industry. As you look at it, though, again, strong sales continue, but I would imagine this may be one of the last week that we'll see these kind of strength in sales as Brazilian corn, Argentinian corn, Russian wheat, some things become more competitive in the world market once again. Lastly, we'll finish up here. U.S. farmers will have sunshine, abundant sunshine across much of the Midwest. It's a dry forecast for the next 10 days, but we do see it as being cold. So crop growth, if you will be diminished. But I do believe farmers throughout much of the Midwest will have a chance to get seed in the ground on a very timely basis. What we'd like to see, though, of course, is crop establishment and growth improving At least the forecast into about June 3rd looks relatively chilly. Thankfully, though, any rain will be far to the south. We do not see a drought pattern lingering as we go forward to the second week of June. So again, there seems to be pattern progression, which I think is important as we get back from the holiday. Thinking about the markets overall, when you look at where we're basically sitting from the day, we are finding markets that are again formed either right before, right after the Memorial Day holiday. Seasonal tops are usually in place as we get beyond June 10th, and thereafter we'll see prices that are really reflective of weather and what's going forward. Everybody have a great day. We do, of course, for those that are interested, scan the QR code to my right. You can see, of course, that is for a month of our daily research at a discounted $1 for that entire month. We'd love to have you try it. My name is Dan Bossie. Wish you a good day. It's a very political Thursday, again, with a bill from MAHA in terms of Make America Healthy Again, and what we've got going on in terms of the reconciliation bill that just passed the House here this morning. Be well, everyone. See you tomorrow.